Rightio, hello team and welcome. We are talking about counters. So this was a video that was suggested by both Gabby and also by one of the YouTube commentators, my first YouTube commentator, Joseph Mann, I believe his name is. So thank you for both of you two. We will do some counters, and this is going to be our first in that series, and we're looking at the militia line. The militia line is on screen. It starts off on the far left with the militia. Then if you drop down into the right, it goes to the men-at-arms, up to long swords, two-handed swordsmen, and ends off with the most useful in the militia line, and the one you'll see most commonly, the champion. So we're going to go through. We're going to talk about what upgrades they need. We're going to talk about what they're good at. We're going to talk about what matchups do not suit them. And we're going to talk about some of those in-between cases where I actually learned something too, because I didn't know this before I did this little bit of research. So off we go. These are the upgrades that you need for your militia line. Starting off, you got the attack upgrade, which can be found in the blacksmith. You start to pick these up in feudal age. That is called forging. It also helps your cavalry. It's the attack upgrade for both your infantry and your cavalry. And each new age you go to, there will be a new attack upgrade there for you. Depending on your civilization, but generally speaking, you will have a new attack upgrade there. Underneath it in the silver, we have got the armor upgrades for the infantry line. This only helps your infantry, unless you've got one of my like you're playing the Incas and you've got a unique civ bonus there. These upgrades are only going to help your infantry line. And exact same thing. Each new age, there should be a new one. If you research the last one, there's 3 of them. Depending on your civilization, you get them. Up here we have some delicious looking apples, and then we call this technology supplies. It makes your whole militia line cheaper. So once you've bought it, all future militia that you make after you've bought this technology will be a little bit cheaper. They become discounted. Generally speaking, you don't make a lot of militia until maybe Imperial Age. That's when you really start to flood with champions. Case-specific exceptions, like maybe you're fighting a Meso Civ and they're flooding you with eagles. The supplies is going to be a useful tech there, because you're going to have to make a lot of long swords or men-at-arms or whatever you've got. Supplies becomes available at feudal age. Some civilizations get it for free, but generally speaking, feudal age, and you will find that in the barracks. And the last one down here is quite noteworthy. This little jacket of padded studded armor, whatever it is called gambesons. I think that's what it's called. It's called a gambeson. It's not called padded studded armor. Silly. Gambesons. Now what Gambesons does is gives the man-at-arm line, the militia line, a extra pierce armor to protect it against the archers. Archers is one of the bad matchups for the militia line, and it's such a bad matchup that the pros traditionally have not played the militia line at all because it's terrible. The devs have tried to make them more playable. They want to see it become more of a viable option in competitive gameplay. So they put in this tech here called Gambesons. Do I get this? I don't often buy this. I'm gonna say it's available in Castle Age. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm saying it's available in Castle Age. I'm doubling down. Available in Castle Age, Gambesons. Get it while you can. Protect you against the archers. Make things a lot better for you. In theory. Haven't played a lot with it. Alright, we're in the Dark Age. We're going to go through some of the match-ups for the militia line. Here we have the militia. He is king of the Dark Age because he beats villagers in Dark Age. And it doesn't matter if they've got loom or not. He will win a one-on-one fight against a villager. Without loom, he wins it comfortably. When the villagers have got loom, things are a bit more shaky. The first hit matters a lot more, and I think I did a few tests, and the militia will win with like a sliver of health in a one-on-one fight. His real superpower in the Dark Age that makes him better than the villagers, he auto-attacks. He is a trained murderer. He knows exactly what he's going to do after he's killed a villager. He kills the villager, he looks for the next one to kill. Villagers, they got lots of jobs. They don't know what they're going to do. They'll sit there and wait for instructions. So they'll kill somebody and then go, what do you want me to do next? You know, they've got lots of jobs, so they wait for instructions. Makes them very micro-intensive if you have to vil fight, and yeah, quite ugly. So militia, for expediency of your, what would you call that? Like your time, yeah, use of your time. He makes it much more efficient. Loom, very important technology. If you don't want your villagers just to melt to the militia, you need loom. That makes it, and then a group of villagers can definitely take on a militia or two, for sure. Now that's all the Dark Age matchups, or so I thought until I remembered. Most people start off with a scout, yeah. The militia wins. I did a test. I was very surprised. The militia wins this fight. I thought the scout would win. I mean, he's on a horse, and spoilers, normally militia line does not do great things against horses, so I was surprised to see that in the Dark Age, the militia line beats the scout, so he really is king of the Dark Age. Kills anything in Dark Age in a one-on-one fight apart from a TC, apparently. Next, we get to Feudal Age. You get the upgrade, you get the man-at-arms. Big power spike. This is one of the things that the pros will use, because at the start of Feudal Age, man-at-arms, he's king of the Dark Age, and he gets a power spike. Amazing. By the man-at-arms upgrade and attack. That's a very common strategy. In the Feudal Age, man-at-arms is good against these three. Spears, skirmishers, eagles, if you're playing Meso. If you're new to Age of Empires and you don't know already, Age of Empires military system is very much a game of paper, scissors, rock. Here we have the rock, which is man-at-arms, taking on the scissors, the other three, yeah? So if he's taking them on, he wins. However, rock is not great against paper. And archers, as we've already encountered with the changes that the devs made, archers counter man-at-arms very well. One of the things I was surprised about when I was doing some testing here is that a militia, not even a man-at-arms, a militia can take on an archer, and with no micro, if the archer just stands there and fights, the militia will win. So a man-at-arms will kill an archer. This is assuming no upgrades here. I was genuinely surprised at that. However, with just a tiny bit of, stop micro, walk away, stop fire, walk away, stop fire. The man-at-arms is too slow, the archer has too much range, and a group of archers can all hit one man-at-arms, they bump into each other, they can't all hit the same target at the same time. It's very one-way traffic, so despite my surprising result when I ran the editor and made them fight each other in a little coliseum, archers are paper, man-at-arms is rock, man-at-arms is going to lose. The militia line is not good against archers. Yeah, scout. So now we've hit Feudal Age. The scout gets a big upgrade from Feudal Age. He's a little bit faster, gets a little bit of attack upgrade, and the man-at-arms has a power boost. At the start of Feudal, the man-at-arms is still king from the Dark Age, and he is the most powerful. By the end of Feudal Age, once all the upgrades are in, scouts are king. Like, if Dark Age didn't exist, scouts would be the best unit in the game. They get bloodlines, they get the attack upgrade for them as well, and they get their cavalry armor. So, in between, it really depends. It really depends when they're fighting as to who wins this matchup. Generally speaking, the man-at-arms is going to win. The militia line will win at the start of Feudal Age, but by the end of Feudal Age, they are totally outclassed. And even at the start of Feudal Age, I think it's pretty damn close. Like, free scouts versus free men-at-arms, both players are losing the majority of their military. There's not going to be a follow-up attack from that. Everyone's dead. Yeah. So good luck. Don't know. If you have a more definitive answer, put it in the comments, or come tell me when you see me. That's where that's at. Next, they get to Castle Age. They get this longsword upgrade. Man-at-arms is still, I shouldn't say man-at-arms. He's now a longsword. Longsword is still longsword. He's still a rock. He's still going to beat all those scissor guys, those spearmen, the skirmisher, and the eagle. However, we've got this, basically bigger, scarier, more heavily armored scout. He was already in trouble with scouts at the end of Feudal Age, and now he's got heavy cavalry. He loses, and that's fundamentally why you don't see the pros playing into the militia line, because cavalry is just better. It can move faster. It can hit harder. It wins a one-on-one fight. So basically, from late feudal all the way through to like mid-imperial age, your cavalry is going to be so much better than the militia line. Cavalry is more expensive, but that doesn't become a problem until like late game. Militia is more efficient in terms of its punching power for how much gold you got to put into it, but it's also slower. So yeah, cavalry wins. If it's on a horse, you don't want to fight it with your militia line. Oh! I've made a mistake here. This is what I kind of want. Okay, over here, ignore the camel. When I did this, I did a run through, and I saw this, and I was like, yeah, the cavalry archer who's down the bottom here on the right, cavalry archer definitely beats man-at-arms. He's an archer who's on a horse. Like, that's both the militia line's bad matchups at the same time. But the camel rider, I looked at this and I went, I don't know. He's not actually on a horse, he's on a camel. What happens there? So I had pre-recorded, I had been recording a video, got to here and went, I think I got to go away and test this. So I went away and tested it, and I got a more definitive answer. Don't look at the next slide, don't go back in the video, just bear with me. So the cavalry archer down here, bottom right, smashes him. It's faster, it's on a horse, it shoots, it doesn't matter what the upgrades are, that he's winning against the militia. The only advantage that the militia might have in late Imperial is that the cavalry archer, if it just stood there and fought, would take damage. Nah, it's not even that. Nah, just hands down, cavalry archer's going to wreck. Went away and did some testing. Here we've got our, our camel rider on his pseudo horse versus longsword. So I tested for the Castle Age and I got them to fight each other. Man-at-Arms is rock. Camel, when we get to our camel videos, is a very strong counter against cavalry. But I don't often see the militia line go up against it. Did the test. Turned out, actually, it was very, very close. It's going to come down to upgrades again. Who's got what upgrades? Are you fighting on a hill? Who's got the hill advantage? It's really going to come down to that. The thing it reminded me the most of was a loomed villager versus a militia. So it's that sort of like the militia line actually walked away with a sliver of health. It was slightly stronger than camels. So if for some weird reason you find yourself with the militia line fighting the camels, by all means, you should just buy some spearmen and wreck the camels. But if you really needed to take the fight, don't be afraid of it. You're not getting countered. It is what it is. And yeah, militia line. Now I haven't gone through the Imperial Age matchups. I think they carry on the exact same way as Castle Age. Really, there's no flipping of the script here. But you do get the cooler looking units in Imperial Age. Let's go back to the first slide just to show you again. In Imperial Age, you will have the technologies for the two-handed swordsman, who, in my opinion, is the coolest-looking swordsman, and the champion, who, he's stronger, undoubtedly, but he doesn't look as cool. So, yeah. And in Imperial is actually when these guys are great. And why they're great in Imperial is because the gold starts to run out, so the efficiency becomes important, and you start to make trash units. Got units that don't cost gold, like your spearmen, like your skirmishers, and light cavalry like hussar. And basically the militia line is efficient on gold, and it is good to very good against in all those matchups, and it's going to win. So in the late game, the champion is going to win because he is rock, and the things that get made in late game are scissors. That's it. Hope it was useful for you. And next up, we'll do archers. So I'll make that one next.